All right, we are rolling. You are now live. Welcome everyone to another edition of Sunday Night KloobySnacks. I am Jeff Klubeck with my daughter Abby Klubeck. Joining us all the way from South Africa. Yeah, it's Charlie, the global connector. Charlie, we're going to jump you in a minute here. By now, everybody should know that KloobySnacks is the fifth in a series of soft skills books, but it's unique for a lot of reasons, right? And not the least of which is the fact that it's co-authored with my daughter. But I've been doing these Get a Clue in 52 books for several years now, and they're made for social media. So 52 Tips allows me to come on and do a live stream once a week and read a tip and facilitate a conversation if anybody wants to join us. And so Charlie's here with us now, and sometimes, Abby, we're alone, and sometimes people join in. But either way, it's warm but thoughtful conversations on a Sunday night. It's my favorite way to end the weekend and get my mind ready for the week in front of us. And so this one is different because instead of being called Get a Clue in 52, it's part of the series. But KloobySnacks, it's a family affair. The original KloobySnacks were my wife's homemade cookies, and then I wanted my own KloobySnacks, so it turned out to be my motivational quotes. And after years and years and years in personal professional growth, I had enough to create a book's worth. And that's when I asked Abigail for help. I had well over 52, over 100, in fact. And I asked for her help to get it down to 52. And we happened upon 4 baker's dozens. 13 times 4 is 52. And we are on KloobySnack number 12 right now. KloobySnack number 12. If you want to come in and get involved in the conversation, let me edit that real quick. That link should work, but let's do that anyway. If you want to come and get involved in the conversation and join us, just hop on in, tinyurl.com/KloobySnack in whatever week of the year it is. And we're in week 12 right now. So the 4 baker's dozens are loving flavored, ego flavored, discipline flavored, and integrity flavored. And this is number 12 in the first section. So Abigail, I want to start to ask you, like, are you realizing the sense of, first of all, how are you? Happy Sunday. It's nice to see you.
I'm good. I'm great. I'm very tired, but I'm here.
Adjust your volume a little bit. Bring your volume down just a little bit. Can you on your headset? Can you bring your volume down just a little bit?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, Abby, you're getting ready to go to Fordham. It's getting exciting. There's all kinds of information flying around. So this is a really neat project for us to do this every Sunday night. I'm thinking, by the end of the year, you're going to be in New York City when we're doing these. But today, what I'm thinking about is like, this is the last KloobySnack of the loving flavored section that has a journal style response from you. Next week is the last one in the section. And so for those of you that don't know, the 13, 26, what is it? 39 and 52, 13, 20, the last KloobySnack in each of the 4 baker's dozens. I'm writing the response to it. But Abigail was so fun and so right on when she said, Dad, you cannot write responses to all your snacks. You already came up with the motivational quotes. It'd be way too much if you responded to your own. So most 48 of these KloobySnacks have journal style responses from Abigail. So tonight's the last one in the loving flavor section that you respond to. And then next week, I have to decide next week, should I read my response, or maybe I should ask you to read my response and see what kind of voice you put to it. That could be interesting. But anyway, do we want to do a little review? Do you want to take us through a review of the 11 snacks that got us to number 12 tonight?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I wasn't ready for this.
That's okay. It's fun. We're having fun on a Sunday night.
Okay.
I'm ready to support you graphically. You ready?
I'm going to do this my way.
Okay.
Okay. First up, starting off our 52 KloobySnacks, we had number 1. When you really need to keep it all together, love is the best adhesive. True. Love it. You got a little deep with that one. 2, I will always love you more than I will ever miss you, which, as my dad always says, is a very deep one. A very, what do you say to start it?
I think it's the heaviest.
It's a heavy one. Yeah, there we go.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
Yep. And that's right at number 2. Then in our number 3 slot, we have, if it were up to me, it would be called Profrontation, which was a little play on confrontation, profrontation, the pro-con, positives, negatives. And my dad really likes that one. And wordplay. Big fan of that. And then number 4, we had, I would rather fail in my commitment to loving than succeed in my commitment to suffering. Which we altered that one together.
Yeah.
Used to be something else. We worked on that one together, workshopped it, and now here she is at number 4. Then number 5, it takes as much confidence to be led as it does to lead. True. Number 6, We had, when possible, replace statements with questions. Yep. Yep, there you go. Number 7, being real is about being truthful to what is known. Being vulnerable, however, is the courage to learn more about what is true. We had very good conversation with that one, actually. I remember. Okay, number 8, we had, everything is important if we take the time to know their importance. Or everybody is important if you take the time to know their importance.
Yeah.
Also true. Truth. Number 9, how you're saying what you're saying is in fact what you're really saying, which we love to quote this one in regular conversation. Number 10, observers will make their own meanings unless we're proactive about the meanings we want made.
True. And even when we are
yep.
proactive, they'll still, but yeah. All right.
Oh,
fun.
There's some pictures. And then last week, number 11, we had, if we can question our way to better relations, we can listen our way to success, which we had a good conversation there too. And now here we are, number 12.
The drum roll.
This flavor.
All right, drum roll, please. All right, the KloobySnack number 12. Well, first of all, before we get into it, Charlie, you're joining us from South Africa. Do you want to say hello, or do you have any comments or questions really quick before we get into the reading of the snack and Abby's response?
No, good, Chef. All I say is hello and good to be here.
All right.
Like 5 o'clock in the morning here.
Well, yeah, I always want to honor the whether it's you or anybody else taking time away from whatever else you could be doing to come here to snack time with Abigail and I want to honor that and make sure that I'm in recognition of that effort. And if you have anything that you want to say or ask, then yeah.
And the past 2 sessions, I got tripped up with you guys turning your clock all over the place. I wasn't sure where it's going to, so I'd been ready for 6 o'clock. But
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we have the daylight savings. That's right. So now it's 5 in the morning instead of 6 for you. Oh man. Yeah, it's where the world's getting smaller, and we're reminded every time we change our clocks about how small the world is and what's happening.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Well. Good to see you from you, Charlie. We're going to go ahead and get into this then. KloobySnack number 12. It's on page 43 if you're following with your own copy at home, and it goes a little something like this. It's funny, Abigail. The KloobySnack is. I'm going to put it up on the board right now because I wrote it differently here on the banner. Sometimes what is least expected is what is most effective. I'm surprised at the workshopping. Is for as much workshopping as we did on the original draft of the quotes before we got final versions, I'm surprised that we didn't wordsmith this one a little bit, because in the book, in the printed book, it says sometimes doing what is most unexpected is what is most effective. So most, using the word most twice and using ineffective after the word most, like I'm surprised me and you didn't catch that.
Yeah.
So the way I rewrote it is, playing the least and the most, right? Sometimes what is least expected, what is most effective. So
yeah,
in 2.0, if we find all of our mistakes and edit and republish, a cleaner version, mental note to take a look at the wording on number 12. Now, having said that, Abby, why don't you go ahead and take us through? I'm going to screen share while you're doing it, and so people can follow along.
I'm going to wait for the screen sharing to go up.
Okay. Oh, by the way, and I've got, hang on, let me. Okay, there we go. And coming back to, now I've lost the window. Okay, go back to the window. Here we go.
Amazing.
And, all right, I'm here. All right, take it away, Abby.
There we go. Oh, it's gone. And it's back. Okay. Believe it or not, but my dad is quite dramatic. He's a very go big or go home type of guy, and more often or not, he chooses to go big. On Valentine's Day in 2nd grade, my dad knocked on my classroom door, and when I opened the door, he was on one knee, holding flowers, a teddy bear, and chocolate. This tradition continued throughout my elementary years, despite my strict teachers labeling his gesture as an interruption to the class. My friends' dads, if they did anything for their daughters on Valentine's Day, would get them flowers in the morning before school or pack candy in their school lunches. My dad, being the person he is, wanted to do more. 2nd grade me never expected my dad to surprise me in the middle of class at school. But 2nd grade me never felt as special as I did when I opened that classroom door. My dad, like always, did what was unexpected and successfully made me feel like the most special girl in my 2nd grade class.
There you have it. All right. I'm glad that was short and sweet, because any more of that and it would have been waterworks over here. And this is one of these special responses from you, Abby, where through the teen years and the parenting that has to get done, and the individuality that emerges within you and your strong nature, and all of the difficulties that we've had. This is one of these nuggets in the book that reminds both of us, like we've done some really great things in our relationship. The daddy-daughter thing. It's instead of you looking at me as the person that's going to ask you where you were or why you're late or let me see your phone or any of that weird stuff. Not weird, but like, normal parenting stuff that's uncomfortable for both of us, really. It's neat that you capture this memory, and that these memories are accessible to you, the good times, the innocent times before the teenage stuff. What do you think? What do you got to say?
Just to kind of elaborate and kind of add more to what I was saying. I think that sometimes the things that you do for me or for our relationship or for the family, like sometimes it's just crazy. It's just like, wow. Like one time when you were out of town for Valentine's Day, and I was like, oh, he's not going to get me flowers this time for Valentine's Day, which is what the picture is on the page in the book. And on Valentine's Day, there's a humongous box downstairs, and I open it, and it's this life-size teddy bear that I still have right next to me. So unexpected, but like that was it was so big to me. Obviously the bear itself was big, but like I never would have expected anything. I was just so set on like, oh, like the tradition's kind of ending this year. And like in second grade, when like the classroom door was knocked on, I never expected to open the door and see my dad like on one knee out there with a little visitor pass on his shirt. But these kind of like crazy things are the things that like I've taken with me and like remembered all this time, and that have like been so special to me. So like obviously this KloobySnack like applies to like our like father-daughter relationship and probably other family dynamics, but I also think like there's many like ways you can apply in scenarios where it's applicable. But for when I read it, like this is what I thought of, how like you are just like really crazy sometimes, and how it's like, but those crazy things you've done, or those out of the box things, or those unexpected things, are what have shaped our relationship or my view of you. So good to be crazy, I guess.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I'd like to feed back on here and add to the conversation. First of all, as we've talked about several times with these snacks in this section, right? A lot of them are born in the land of nonverbal communication. A lot of these KloobySnacks were made up around me teaching nonverbal, like how you're saying what you're saying is in fact what you're really saying. That's all about nonverbal communication. But this tonight is another one, and I'm going to show you where this comes from when we talk about the land of communication. It's actually the communication overview, the very first discussion that I have in a communication class. Doesn't matter what communication class it is. Chapter 1 is always the communication overview, right? And so there's ingredients of communication, there's what we bring to communication, and then there's the process of meaning making, encoding and decoding. So observers will make their own meaning and how you say what you say, and everything is interesting. Everybody's interesting if we take the time to know their value on all of these things. A lot of these snacks, they've emerged, or they were born before you were. You know what I'm getting at? Like I've had these phrases and these hooks and these ways of summarizing the content that I need to teach inside of a classroom to young learners, right? And not academic textbook, but we want to make it sticky and memorable, on and on and on. So that's one thing. Number two is that, com, uni, care, communication, right? If you break down, I think, into the Latin roots of the word, like com, uni, and care, right? To make one with, right? So when you look at communication, we're in the loving section, but I just want to point out this relationship between communication and love, right? The love being the willingness to be vulnerable, of course. Why? So either you or your beloved may grow, but that's making one with another being, making one with ourselves, feeling like we're one with the universe. There's a huge care, interaction through messages and meaning making, and there's just, I want to shine a light on a relationship between listening and love, and communication and love, and integration, integrity, love, care, to make one with, to integrate, to be whole, to have a sense of wholeness and completeness. That's really at a high level vibrationally is what we're trying to do here, but it's quirky and it's fun and it's bite-sized and it's daddy-daughter, but there's more. I just wanted to highlight some of the additional context that's swirling the snacks in this section. While I pull up the packet, what's your response to that, Abby?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I've thought about this a lot as we were writing the book and editing it and going back over it and even talking about it now. How, like, when I first went through this like master list of KloobySnacks, these weren't daddy daughter KloobySnacks. They weren't. They did as a whole. I would not use family or parenting or anything as a word to describe this collection of KloobySnacks. Because it was very targeted, like the marketing and sales and all of this stuff that has nothing to, well, as of the time we went through them, really had nothing to do with me. I had nothing to relate to there. But how I was able to still pick 52 of them, or I guess 48 of them, and write on them in a way that like was so personal. And I think it was cool thinking about that and how like it shows to show like how versatile these KloobySnacks are. And how it can be so relatable to so many different contexts and people and scenarios, and which I think is so interesting, because I know you said a lot, like a lot of the time when you were writing these, you didn't have parenting in mind or have raising a daughter in mind, and I bet you didn't have a daughter writing about being raised by you in mind, but still it was so easy to find these like moments like this, like the flowers and all of these other anecdotes I bring up in the book. It was so easy to find these things and attach it to that and relate it to it and associate the meanings with whatever. So I just think it's so interesting how versatile the KloobySnacks are. And it's so interesting hearing when we talk about it and you're talking about where you came up with it, or how this KloobySnack came about, and it has nothing to do with what I was writing at all.
Right.
And there's somewhere like the overall meaning of what I responded with is similar to what you initially intended, but it's always different. There's always so many differences there. But I think it's so interesting seeing how like all of these differences just go to show how versatile these KloobySnacks are, which I think is really cool.
Well, it's that's exciting one, because like, wait a second, like, what, first of all, like, what's a thought leader? Like there's a thought leader. Like, I thought, wow, what is a thought leader? Oh, whatever it is, that would be cool to be a thought leader, right? But now it's like, hey, guess what? I guess these KloobySnacks need some thoughts. You know what I mean? Like the versatility of the quote, you put it out there, and language is ambiguous, and everybody's going to interpret it through their filters. So I think it's actually interesting to bring it full circle. Like, hang on a second. Am I a good dad? This project has taught me. Wait a second. Am I a thought leader? I guess. So what we're talking about, this is discussion number 1, right? From the communication overview. Abigail, I've been teaching this since before you were born.
You showed this last week, I think.
Well, no. There's the nonverbal conversation. There's the nonverbal communicate. Like there's the discussion on nonverbal. There's the discussion on critical thinking. There's the discussion on listening, right? But what I want you to understand right here, when we look at the ingredients of communication, context is the ingredient. Are you ready? What goes in the blank? My students are waiting for me to give them the answers to what goes in the blank. Context, context or situation or setting, right? It's where the communication takes place, but not just like geographically, geographically where, but like what's going on, right? Read the room type where, And so context is what determines what is expected, appropriate, and ultimately effective. I've been using those 3 words, writing those 3 words on the board for 23 years, with a 6-year gap in between. 23 years total, not consecutive, right? 20 years and then 6-year gap, and now the last 3 years. But my point is that you're only 17, and I've been doing this for a long time. So it's interesting to see you respond, like you said, and what thoughts get led based on how we're crafting this KloobySnack. Sometimes what is least expected is what is most effective. Now, so that's one thing I wanted to say. And by the way, thoughts versus messages, encoding and decoding, right? So observers will make their own meaning, right? Unless we're proactive, right? And we bring these things to communication. So I don't want to go too far down an academic road, but I do want to shine the light. That's one of the things that's cool, is that a lot of these snacks that show up in the loving flavor, right? Loving flavor come from communication. And so there's a relationship between listening, loving, and communicating, right? It's all, right? Communicare, to make one with. A sense of wholeness, right? Then we're going to end the book with 13 KloobySnacks on integrity. We'll get there. But the other thing I wanted to let you know, right? And over my shoulder, it's blurred, but one of Shaquille O'Neal's shoes is right there. I got another one right here in my arm, right? So that is, right? How did the Shaq thing come about? It's because I did something so big, so unexpected, so out of the box that during the national anthem, after banner yet waved, I yelled out at the top of my lungs, yeah, 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 yeah. And I was close enough for Shaq to hear it, and I made eye contact with him, and that's what led to, it's the yeah, yeah. It's like the completely unexpected, right? Borderline inappropriate, depending on how you feel about the national anthem and so forth, right? At a live sporting event. It created the whole Shaq story. My whole relationship with Shaquille O'Neal was born out of this thing that you experienced in second grade when knocking on your classroom door, or sending you the biggest teddy bear you've ever seen in your life when I was in Australia or whatever. It's the same thing, right? And who knows what kind of therapy I need to figure out why I need to go big and out of the box so often. But that's a different conversation for a different time. But I just wanted to point out those two things. One, a lot of the loving flavored snacks are come from teaching communication for 23 years, critical thinking, listening, nonverbal communication, the communication overview. And then, yeah, like it's pretty effective to yell out at the top of your lungs and get the attention of a global 360-pound superstar named Shaquille O'Neal. Anyway, it's kind of crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else? What else by way of and then the other thing, I thought it's cute. Like, wait, am I a thought leader? I do have a strong desire to see how other people, like, now I'm addicted. Like, now that I've seen you respond to my Klooby snacks, I want to see how the rest of the world responds to them. Right? What would elementary school kids think, or what would other daddy-daughter groups, or other parenting organizations, or what about sports teams, or what about? So it'd be interesting to see if we can get enough traction. And what we're doing quite casually Sunday nights and promoting, the reading every week. But I'm wondering if we can get some traction to like make KloobySnack some sort of interactive communication game, immersive communication game for team building and fostering culture and trust and dialogue and rapport. And I believe the KloobySnacks have that potential. It's something that we were talking about with Jennifer Horspool specifically. Shout out to Jennifer in case you're watching the recording and you're out there in cyberspace. But what else? I don't think I have anything else I want to say. I've said the things that were on my mind. A lot of these are born from the communication that I teach. A lot of the very best things in my life are because I've been willing to be outside of the box and do what was unexpected or maybe even considered inappropriate. But sometimes that's what the effect. That's what it takes to be effective. Especially, it's a noisy world. How are we seen? How are we heard? Who's willing to dare to be different? Diane Forster, who you met last summer in her online event, she plays the video about how she went to a live taping of some show and she was willing to dance out in front of the crowd in ways that others weren't, and that's what got her on TV. And do you know what I mean? Like, just like Price is Right, when they're casting for the Price is Right, or game shows, or there's a lot of opportunities where being out of the box is not just like effective, but it's like needed, because if nobody ever thinks outside the box or behaves outside the box, then the box is going to stay the same for their entire box's life. Yep. Right? And so what else? How about you want to get into last call? We can do it. Last call.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else I want to say. There are so many fun things tonight. And go ahead.
Well, since I updated on my acceptance to slow last Sunday, this week, right, my last and final acceptance, all of my schools I've heard back from, got into Syracuse. Hey!
Congratulations.
But it doesn't matter because I'm going to Fordham. So yeah.
It's like I had to like be as excited for you. I had to listen to you. I had to swim around in that like factoid that you got into all of the universities you didn't get. Like, you're like perfect, right? Even the ones that you didn't think that's awesome. But guess what? It's Fordham, right? 100% focused on Fordham right now. Yeah,
I know. It's just crazy. It's crazy, and it's very reassuring, and kind of like, I just don't believe it a little bit. I did reread the email multiple times and keep reloading the page and re-watching the confetti pop up just to make sure. But yeah, it's exciting. It's fun. It's so, I don't know, so weird to think about that I got into all my schools, and my two like reaches that, I mean, I didn't think I was gonna get in, but obviously Dad, like, you were always, you're getting in wherever you want to go, you're getting in, whatever. I
never wavered. I was 100%. And that's, not just my belief in you, but look, weeds grow on their own. They need no help from us. What we need to put our effort and energy into is the things that we do want, the good stuff. right? So at any given moment, I could either think about what I do want or what I don't want. And I try to always choose to think about what I do want, because negative thoughts and doubt and all of that second guessing, that all happens automatically. I don't have to intentionally do that. When I'm authoring my state of mind and I'm conscious about what I'm going to choose to do, I'm going to choose what I do want. And I wanted you to get into every school you applied for, to have the actual choice. All of your options available to you, especially your first and best option. So watch out for them in New York City. Now, I got an announcement. I have an announcement as well, if I may. Did I create enough space for you there? I want everybody to know that this coming Thursday, I haven't done too much of what I'm about to do right now. I've been just, KloobySnacks and interacting with you is enough, but too much other promotions. But drum roll, please. I want everybody to know that my 7th book and my 4th co-author is coming out this Thursday, and it's an integrity game story. So the integrity game is the book I put out 3 years ago. It introduces the 10-point model for personal and professional growth. And then now that's how I deliver my coaching, consulting, training, speaking, keynotes, and all of that. So the brand used to be Get a Clue, and now I've transitioned the last 3 years to integrity game. So in the integrity game, it's set to baseball. There's a season ticket holder who's based on my character. And then he's there at the big league ballpark to see his son, who just as a rookie made the big league squad. But there's an uninspired hot dog vendor that doesn't want the game to go into extra innings and wants to go hang out with friends rather than, and so they got to talking, and the season ticket holder says, well, that's my son, and integrity means a lot. And you haven't tried to sell me a dog, but you're complaining about not making money today. You're out of, I'll be here all season and I'll take you through. So the character based on me takes the hot dog vendor through the 10-point model. And that's what I did to introduce the model. By the end of the book, the guy's not slinging hot dogs anymore. All right, never mind that. Well, what Uncommitted is now I've partnered with Joey Santani, who is a college baseball recruiting consultant and advisor. And what we're doing is a prequel. So this kid that makes the big league squad in the integrity game, we're going to go back to follow this kid in high school with 2 of his teammates that they all want to play college baseball, but one of them doesn't get any guidance. One of them gets the wrong guidance. And then the other one, who's based on, right. And actually, it's interesting, Abigail, I'm going to get your feedback on this, because in the integrity game, clearly I was based, Terry was based on me, and Luke is a little bit of all of us, and TJ was based on AJ, and Ali was based on you, and even the doctor at the end that was raising money for challenged athletes was based on Brody. So it was very clearly that, me, and then of course the dedication to Marianne up front. But in Uncommitted, one of the amazing things that happens is there's a little bit of all of us and all the characters. You're reading about all these different characters. There's the 3 ball players, there are 3 dads, there's the college baseball coordinator that's based on Joey's character, right? Joey's, right? Then there's the coaches, and then right. And after a while, I'm like, I could identify with this, and I could. So it was really interesting for me, because like this character named Terry is clearly based on me, but sometimes I felt like this other kid's dad, and sometimes I felt like this other kid's dad, or sometimes I could relate to the players. It was very fascinating. So I'm really thrilled to put this book out. It's available now on pre-order, if anybody wants to get. And then when you order through our website, there's all these bonuses that we give if you want to bypass, or if you don't want to go to Amazon, it's just the book. But when you order through our website, we give you all this extra stuff. And so we've got some great testimonials, and this is the draft manuscript that we're finalizing. And we got the foreword is written by John Savage of UCLA, and there's some other really incredible pieces of advanced praise that we're adding into the book. And we're happy with it. Like, I'm really, really excited to it's my 7th book. It's my 4th co-authored project. And I respect Joey tremendously. He helped our family, not just me and not just AJ, but he helped our family, because you know how nervous I was. I didn't want to screw it up, and I didn't know how it worked. And you follow, like, it was the greatest thing in the world to say, hey, this guy's worth every penny that we're investing, so that I could just sit back and cheer and support AJ from behind rather than try to control everything out in front. I've made all of those mistakes before earlier in my parenting journey. So I could talk forever about how thrilled I am, how much I respect Joey, how excited he is for the book, the advanced praise that we've received, and the impact we think that it can have on. And because it's not just about baseball, it's very specific to baseball, but there's lessons that are applicable for anybody that wants to pursue something difficult where they don't know how to navigate the terrain. Most of us need trusted advisors in our lives. Like, for example, you, Abigail, I think one of the reasons that you got into every college you applied for is because you're awesome, But another reason is the guidance that we invested in to make sure that you were guided, right? The college counseling that you got, Elizabeth, right? She did an amazing job. And so I wasn't involved. I wasn't at those meetings. I was supporting from behind, but we got you the support that you needed. Parents, we don't know it all, right? And if we're in a position to make investments in our kids, sometimes a trusted advisor that has objectivity and experience, sometimes just loving your kids more than anything in the world either isn't enough or it's too much. You need a trusted professional advisor to strike that balance. And so that's all I'm going to say about KloobySnacks, other than, hey, you could, I'm not KloobySnacks, Uncommitted. You can get Uncommitted, tinyurl.com/a-TIG story, right? The Integrity Game story, the prequel to the Integrity Game. So that's exciting because now Joey's going to get this story and the brand out to his entire network of the college baseball, high school and college baseball world. So it's thrilling for me to see the Integrity Game start to tentacle out into other ecosystems and environments, and to see people buying in to the potential the Integrity Game has to bring out brands to, I don't know. I can keep going. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to stop there though. Have you pre-ordered yet, Abby? I haven't gotten a notification that your credit card went through. Have you pre-ordered on the web? No, I'm joking, of course. Listen, the real book, when it comes out, it's going to be $20.25. Okay. So right now you can get it for $7.99 on the website, and we give you a bunch of free stuff. We're going to release it on Thursday for $5. So it'll be $5 plus shipping if you get it through Amazon. All right. It's $7.99 flat if you get it through our website. But we want it to climb the bestseller list. We're selling it for $5 so as many people can buy as possible and make it easy and affordable for people to buy. And anybody that gets 20 or more copies, Joey or I will waive our speaker's fee and come in and do a 1-hour talk to any organization that wants to hear about the Integrity Game or the college recruiting process. So we're going to run promotions like that all week long. So Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, and it is really exciting, I think. So we're still in last call though. I'm gonna take that link down now because we are in last call. Charlie, I know it's really early in the morning for you, but last call for comments, questions, jokes, riddles, haikus, limericks, or expressions of gratitude.
Coach Jeff, congratulations on your acceptance at what's it? Fordham, Abby.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yes.
This KloobySnack. Sometimes you do all sorts of crazy stuff now and then, and it is actually effective. I've got one little joke. It says, "For you, I will kill the bull."
For you, I will kill a bull.
Yeah, for you, I'll kill the bull. But for your sister, I'll kill you.
Oh no. All right. I'm kind of happy that's the first time I've ever heard that. Like, as if to say, damn it, I almost made it 53 full years. No, I'm teasing you, Charlie.
Sometimes you do something that somebody is so unexpected.
But let me ask you, is that a pickup line, right? Like, I'm just wondering.
Well, do with it what you want to,
Yeah, right. Well, I think it's interesting because when it comes to pickup lines, that's an area where the least expected could be the most effective. Like, what's expected is probably not going to be very effective in that situation, right? Anyway,
I came up with this one. Sometimes, I did something for somebody that they really, really didn't expect, and then I go, now, for you, don't worry, I got your back. For you, I'll kill the bull. And they go, and I says, yeah, but for your sister, I kill you.
It's jovial. I think it's jovial when I hear it the second time. That's weird. I went almost 53 years without hearing it once, and now in 10 seconds, I've heard it twice. This is awesome. It's funny. It is funny, Charlie. All right. So we are here, last call, wrapping up KloobySnack number 12. Sometimes what is least expected is what is most effective. And we are in last call on a Sunday night. Anything else that anybody wants to ask or share before we dismiss for this evening? I'm really looking forward to next week. Abigail, I think I'm going to want you to read what I wrote.
Okay.
Next week.
And then you can sit there and cry?
Yeah, actually. Well, because that's the thing is like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, like, truth be told, let the world know. In the process of writing this book, we had to read and edit and proof and right. And so you and I both, Abigail, we were going, and I loved how you would get excited about something that you wrote, and then you'd want to read it out loud to mom, and then I would want to read something to Marianne. And so every time I tried to read a piece of introduction or read a piece of testimonial or read anything that I wrote in response to any of the snacks, or sometimes I couldn't get through it because I would just tear up with so much emotion. I'm hoping that maybe now 13 weeks into this, we're desensitized to the project a little bit. It was definitely like a wave, a season almost of energy that month that we were really in the trenches, right? From Thanksgiving to mid-December, right? I remember going to the taco place and sitting there for hours, at the taco place with you. And it was an emotional time. There was a lot of healing, a lot of processing, reading, thinking, supporting. You and I were relating in such a different way. It was so needed. Like I was starving for it. You know what I mean? Like, relating with you in healthy, mature ways that's foundational to the relationship we get to have the rest of our lives. And, now we're Sunday night. It's joviality. It's a little looser. We'll see if I can get through reading. I don't know. Especially if I read it before the show starts, before the live stream starts, if I read it and go to a practice run, I might be able to hold it together. If I just open it up and read it and I'm not ready for what's in there, it's going to hit me. So that'll be fun.
I think either way, you're a goner.
Either way, you're a goner. I probably cannot argue with that. All right. Well, I don't have anything else for tonight. This was a fun one. Do you have anything else, Abby?
No.
All right. Charlie, thanks for joining and chiming in and keeping it light and fun and loving. And maybe we'll see you next week.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. And Abigail, I love you. Congratulations on all your successes. And make sure everybody out there, make your plans to get your copy of Uncommitted, an Integrity Game story. Just go to tinyurl.com/a-TIG story, and you can pre-order your copy of Uncommitted. If you want a private message, I can send you the PDF kind of free if you want to give us some feedback or what have you. But we want people to order, and we want to get those numbers up on the bestseller list, like we did with KloobySnacks. Last best-selling accolade we got was for KloobySnacks, right? Number one among parenting. It was number one among bestsellers in parenting girls category. Go figure. Who knew? All right, Abby.
Yep. Farewell.
All right. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Bye.
Good night, Coach Jeff.